Good evening, and welcome back to Mo's channel. And today, I want to start wrapping up the negativity. It is my philosophy that if you're dealing with a situation, you handle the most difficult tasks first. Get those out the way. Once they're gone, then you can focus on the easier tasks because now your mind is at ease. So I spoke about the black mentality. I spoke about the white man's history, the white man's media, and the lies associated with that. And today, I want to touch upon something that, in my view, is becoming endemic and could pose a serious threat to the survival and prosperous future of black people. I want to talk about two things: homosexuality and the effeminization of men. Now, prior to 1972, homosexuality had been classified by the American Psychiatric Association in their DSM, I believe it's called Diagnostic Services Manual, as a mental condition, similar to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, and so forth, as a mental condition. The homosexual lobby placed tremendous pressure on the APA such that it was declassified as a mental condition in 1972. I believe it's 1972, it might be 1975. Google it. What is homosexuality? I'm going to approach this from a scientific, logical perspective, not from a religious perspective. In nature, every living thing, whether a plant or an animal, reproduces. Every living thing reproduces. If you talk about plants, the bee comes along, gets the pollen, takes it from one plant to another plant, and fertilizes that plant. Reptiles, they lay eggs, and the male comes along and fertilizes those eggs. Mammals and birds, we fuck. Dick and pussy, pregnancy. Every living thing in nature reproduces. Nature is a self-sustaining entity that relies on continuous replication. If a species no longer reproduced, that species would become extinct. So from a natural perspective, from a biological perspective, from a species functionality perspective, homosexuality is wrong. It's wrong. It goes against the laws of nature. Number one. Number two, if you go down to the subatomic level, break an atom apart and look inside that atom, you will see a nucleus which has a net charge of 0 volts. You'll see a proton, which has a net positive charge, and an electron, which has a net negative charge. In a stable atom, the proton and the electrons balance each other out such that the atom has a net 0 charge. Should the atom have a net negative charge, it will seek out another atom that has a net positive charge, and they will bond to form a molecule. You look at water, hydrogen, and oxygen. Hydrogen has 1 electron in its outermost valence shell. For that shell to be stable, it needs to have 2 electrons. Oxygen has 6 electrons in its second valence shell, which needs 8 electrons to be stable. So the oxygen atom finds 2 hydrogen atoms and bonds with them. Now, the hydrogen atom is stable, the oxygen atom is stable, and you have a molecule called water. Electricity flows from a point where there's a high concentration of electrons to a point where there's a low concentration of electrons, called potential difference. The positive end of a magnet is attracted to the negative end of a magnet. If you place the positive end of a magnet next to the positive end of another magnet, they will repel. At a subatomic level, it is dictated that opposites attract and negatives repel. At a subatomic level, we are made of atoms. So, when you have a man with a man, or a woman with a woman, that is violation of the most fundamental principle of physics. It defies logic. We could go on. They say, I'm born this way. I was born a homosexual. I was born liking men. Or from a woman, I was born liking women. Really? Is that so? Can you prove it? The biggest fraud, that has been parlayed on the American people is this notion that a homosexual is born that way. the biggest fraud which led to homosexual marriage. I am not going to use the word gay. The word gay means someone who is happy. Why do they take that word and abuse it? The rainbow was God's covenant to humanity that I shall not destroy you again. And now it's theirs. Marriage is that sanctified union between man and woman for the purpose of bringing forth children. Now they want to get married. The biggest fraud that was ever played was that notion that a homosexual is born that way. I have kinky hair. I have brown eyes. I have black skin. I was born this way because in my embryo there were genetic markers that directed the developing tissue cells within that embryo. When you develop that eye, make that eye brown. When you develop that hair, when those cells differentiate to form the hair on my head, make that hair black and kinky. When you develop the epidermis, the skin of this embryo, make that skin black. A child born with blue eyes has a marker, a genetic marker, that directs the cells to create blue eyes. That's what the DNA is. That's what the genes are. They're directions given to the cells via the messenger RNA, telling the cells when you differentiate and form this organ, this is how you should form that organ. Every natural trait that a child, that a human being is born with, has a genetic marker. For a homosexual to be born homosexual, there has to be a genetic marker that will direct their mind to have an attraction to the same sex. There is none. There is none. There is no genetic marker for homosexuality. Therefore, nobody can claim that they were born homosexual. There have been numerous studies conducted by various scientists, most of them homosexual, to support the notion that one is born that way. Here's a problem. In the scientific world, I could have a hypothesis. The moon is made of cheese. That's my hypothesis. It does not become a theory until I can validate it. Until I could get to the moon or conduct some kind of spectral analysis through space to confirm that the moon is made of cheese, and then hand the methodology and the result set over to another scientist so they could conduct the same experiment and come up with the same conclusion, then I could not claim as a fact that the moon is made of cheese. All of these theories that propose the notion that one is born homosexual have never stood up to peer review. Not one. Not one. What is the reality? 70%, 70% of all male homosexuals reported being sexually abused as young children. 70% reported being sexually abused as young children. It is a learned behavior. It is not a natural inclination. It is a learned behavior. If you take a little girl and put her in a home where every night she has to sit there and watch her drunk father come home and beat the fucking shit out of her mother every night, year and year and year. And she sees her mother endure this shit. And she never sees her mother fight back. What impression is that creating in that young girl's mind? One of two. Either she is going to hate men and absolutely despise men, and whenever she has an opportunity, she will destroy men, or, and this sadly tends to be the more common outcome, she will view herself as nothing more than a worthless piece of shit who should be abused and stepped on by men. That little girl will either be a prostitute on the street, she might be a slut, or she might be in very abusive relationships, because that is what she expects. Does she deserve it? No. But it is a learned behavior. Homosexuality is a learned behavior. Homosexuality has significant adverse effects, the lifestyle, on the people involved in it. There's a much higher incidence of suicide, and trust me, that is not related to people like me who do not accept them. That is related to the world they live in. They are narcissistic, they are vain, they're absolutely self-centered, they're only accountable to themselves, and they're promiscuous as shit, and they're consumed by diseases, and they're high-level consumers of drugs. That is the reality. Do the research for yourself. Don't take my word. I've done the research. These people are sick. Had it not been declassified as a mental condition, they might have received treatment. They might have received treatment. Why? Why? Why has there been this huge push for homosexuality? Before I talk about that, let me talk about the effeminate, the turning men into bitches. Can't say the word. Turning men into bitches. A bitch does not necessarily have a pussy. there are many bitches with dicks. So when I say turning men into bitches, I'm not saying women are bitches. I'm saying turning men into pieces of fucking shit. Why? You now have men walking around with skirts, with purses. You have men putting on makeup so they can look pretty. Men wearing women's clothing. You go to a store now, you buy a large t-shirt. You put it on, you're like, damn, this motherfucking shit tight as hell. What the fuck? Skinny jeans. Men gossiping, spreading rumors. Men are in love with themselves now. Men are vain, narcissistic. What the fuck? What the fuck, nigga? What happened to the days when men were men? Now you go to clubs. Niggas wanna stand in the corner. There's all these bitches out there. They ain't trying to even step on the bitches. You trying to move up on the bitch. Niggas wanna come stand next to you. What the fuck? Niggas follow niggas around. They wanna be your buddy. What the fuck, nigga? I got friend written on my head. They wanna do what you do. They wanna emulate you. They got this dumb shit called bromance. Bromance. What the fuck? Men have become bitches. Men have become bitches. It's goddamn insane. They want to cry. Tears coming down their eyes. And they think that liberates them. From what? Manhood, nigga? I am proud to be a man, motherfucker. Why? I could tell you why. Look at the fucking media. Look at the piece of shit feminine men in the media. Half these rappers are goddamn faggots. Lil Wayne kissing Birdman on the lips. What the fuck, nigga? The media has promoted this weak piece of shit man. Little boys. They go out and play sports. Everyone gets a trophy. Even the motherfucking losers get a trophy. What the fuck, nigga? When I played Pee Wee League, when I played Little League, if we lost, we go back, we'd be mad at our fucking selves. Why the fuck we lost, young? Why the fuck we lost? And we come back and say, we ain't gonna lose again. We're gonna win. Not every little shit nerd gets a trophy just for stepping on the field. Even the water boy gets a trophy. What the fuck, nigga? Men have become bitches. Men now get jealous of you. They now get jealous of you. Very jealous. Because you could do something they can't do. Bitch, I've been playing sports since I was fucking 6 years old. Of course I'm gonna be better than you, motherfucker. I've been playing musical instruments and composing since I was fucking 6 years old. Of course I'm gonna be better than you. Accept it. Live with it, motherfucker. Little pussy ass motherfuckers. Why? It is easier. It is so much easier to control
a weak man to control a homosexual than it is to control a real man. When Martin King started out, he carried a pistol. He was ready to blast motherfuckers if they threatened his family, his wife and his kids. Some faggot named Baynard Rustin whatever came and sold him on this stupid pacifist bullshit. And they were able to be controlled. When Martin King opened his eyes and saw the poor people and said, I'm now going to march and fight for the poor people, they said, nigga, you gotta go. You gotta go. The Panthers started off providing meals for poor kids in the community, providing after-school programs for poor kids in the community. Go research the origins, the roots of the Panthers. Little shit-ass white police said, fuck you niggas. Them niggas said, fuck you, copper. Fuck you. I ain't no bitch. I'ma stand up to you. They had to go. It is easier to control a weak little piece of shit man, which is what all these fucking men out here have become, than it is to control a real man. A real man will stand up and fight. A real man is not afraid to die. There was a man, a Chinese man, Tiananmen Square, way back. The Chinese had said, fuck this. Fuck this. We want our freedom. And the Chinese said, we're going to stand up for our fucking freedom. So all these Chinese gathered in Tiananmen Square. And there's a picture of one Chinese man who went up to a tank. The turret of the tank is pointed right at his chest. And that Chinese man said, fuck it. I die. But let me die a man rather than live a fucking bitch. These men are bitches. That's why they can be controlled. When a man is a real man, he makes decisions based on reason, logic. When a man is a bitch, when a man is a faggot, they make decisions based on emotion. When you make decisions based on emotion, I can control the decisions you will make. When you make decisions based on reason, you control the decisions you make. Many women will sit there and think, oh, it's good that men are homosexuals, that men are in touch with their feelings and want to walk around a baby strapped to their chest, and if they could, they'd breastfeed the motherfucking baby. They say that's empowerment. That's emotional intelligence. Fuck you. Your desire for weak men is going to bring your society down. Listen. This is an evil. This is a scourge on our society. This is a scourge on humanity. Men should not be pretty. Men should not be in touch with their emotions. Yes, of course you could have emotions. Your mother dies, your father dies, shed a tear, motherfucker. Your son dies, your son gets in an accident, yeah, be concerned. Your daughter, yeah, be concerned. Your wife gives birth to your first child, be happy. But we're men, they're women. There's a difference between us. They express themselves in a certain way. We express ourselves in a certain way. We should not be them. They should not be us. There is a reason for that difference. That balance is what makes society function. You take away that balance and you have a fucked up society. And that is where we are heading right now. We need to fight this. All real men, all real women need to stand up and we need to fight this and say no more. We need to start pushing back on these homos. Let them know we ain't playing that shit. And somewhere, somehow, I hope another case makes its way to the Supreme Court. And I hope the person that argues that case argues it on scientific basis. Not religious grounds, not philosophical grounds, but scientific grounds. Because when those justices look at that, they will come to the conclusion that homosexuals do not deserve protection under the Equal Rights Clause. As I mentioned, this channel is about Black awareness, Black consciousness. I've put out several videos touching on controversial subjects. This probably being the most controversial. You get the negative out first. Then you start building. Many people talk. Anyone can point out the problem. 2008, the market crashed. 2001, the market crashed. 87, the market crashed. 1929, the market crashed. But can anyone tell you the true reason and provide a suitable remedy? Just if you wanted to know why the markets always crash, it's called credit. It's called Federal Reserve policy. 29 contracted it, called a lot of loans and stock purchases, had to sell, massive selling. The market crashes. 87, same thing. 2001 or 2000 after .com, same thing. 2008, same thing. All the bubbles, housing bubble, stock bubble. Right now we have a stock market bubble. All of them caused by the Fed. Monetary policy. Look it up. Anyway, I now want to focus on solutions. We know the problems. What are the solutions? The videos that come after this will be focused on solutions. Probably 10 videos. After that, I might not put out any more videos unless you're a member of my site. As always, thank you, God bless, and good night.